Okay, here we are doing chemistry model question paper, and in this section, we only do short question answers. The very first question here is differentiate between reversible and irreversible reaction with the help of an example. So, reversible means which can move either way, which can be reversed. So, any of the reaction which move forward and backward, any of the reaction which have capacity to form product and product have capacity to reconvert into reactant, that is a reversible reaction, and irreversible is obviously opposite to it. And how you differentiate it by just considering any of the reaction. um, it's presented by a double arrow as far as reversible is concerned, and single arrow with a reversible irreversible. And irreversible is unidirectional, reversible is bidirectional, and there is always an equilibrium established, dynamic equilibrium you must write, established in between reactant and product. And in case of irreversible, there is not any sort of equilibrium established. And you can write Haber's process equation, ammonia formation, and you can also write the formation of phosphorus pentachloride as well here. And the reaction, the next question here is the reaction between PCl3 phosphorus trichloride reacted with chlorine and giving you phosphorus pentachloride, and you have to write the Kc expression for it. So first of all, what you need to do, you have to write the equation. And here in the first step, we wrote the equation here, and the rate of forward reaction is directly proportional to the active masses of uh, product, reactant as far as forward is concerned. I'm so sorry. And then rate of backward reaction is directly proportional to the active masses of the product, so we'll write it. Then you form the equation as we discussed in the previous paper, because this question is always in any sort given in objective or subjective part. Then, because as we said that equilibrium, we have rate of forward and backward reaction is equal, so we equate both of the equations and rearrange it. So there we have product to reactant ratio, and kf over kr, forward divided by reverse reaction rate, is equal to kc. So this is the last expression. So then the next question is the process of separating a metal from its ore is called metallurgy. We all know it. You have to enlist some of the processes name here. So you have to enlist just three names, and you will get free all 3 marks. And here we mentioned there's a mining, the very first process, then crushing and grinding of that material in factories, then the concentration unit we send it, and then for separation through basic methods, then magnetic separator, cyclone separator, and flotation process. And then we have an extraction process, roasting, smelting, as mesmerization is the most common processes we use, and then refining and distillation. You can write any of three. Then the next question is, what is a neutral salt? Describe its formation with the help of valid chemical equations. So neutral salt, the salt which doesn't generate any sort of acidic or basic character in your material, in your solvent. And as a result of neutralization reaction produced, for example, you're reacting HCl with NaOH or nitric acid with potassium hydroxide, or you can pick any of the other salt you like. It's potassium sulfate may also form if you are using sulfuric acid. And you can do this reaction with any of acid and base. Then the next question is, show the structures of ester and ether uh, functional groups. So you have to what the functional group is, the particular atom or element which induce specific properties in the carbon chain. So your ether is when oxygen have carbon chain on its both sides, and esters are you know how carboxylic group is generated, that is C double bond O. And on the one side carbon is fixed with hydroxyl group, on the other side that is carbon chain. So you just need to consider that the hydroxyl group, the hydrogen will be removed and we put carbon chain there, then that is the esters. List three applications of pH in daily life. So pH is your hydrogen ion concentration. So your existence of your living being, um, your blood pH, that is very much important for you, and even it fluctuates, it causes death, food digestion. And soil acidity is also very important. Then your tooth decay, because we all know that we have a base in your toothpaste, because the tooth decay is just because of your acidic material inside, or The bacterial action which produces that, or the honeybee bite, that is also one of the example. Then we have the next question, identify X and Y, and the initial stage is we have one, two, three, four, five member carbon chain, and we have double bond. So it's two pentene, and it's reacted with bromine. So what will happen? Obviously, it interact with bromine. Bromine added across the double bond, and double bond will be removed, and it becomes two, three dibromo pentane. And then alcoholic KOH is here, and we know when alcoholic KOH is here, then hydrogen bromide will be removed, and it generates double bond. First double bond, and then it generates single bond. You can show it in two steps, or you can do it in single step as well. Then the next question is, demonstrate Lorry-Bronsted concept of acid and base with the help of chemical equation and acetic acid and water. So according to this concept, a proton donor is acid and proton acceptor is base. So acetic acid, obviously it provides H positive ion, so it's donating, it's an acid, and water will pick up that H positive with the help of their electron pair on oxygen, so it is as your Lorry Bronsted base. So you can write the equation. Then we have demonstrate oxidation of alkynes with KMNO4. We have alkyne KMNO4. What it will do, it will add hydroxyl group across the bonds. Then first the triple bond will be removed, and then double bond is removed, and then we get this. And because we have to do the alkyne KMNO4 is here, so it done complete oxidation. So in the next step, water will be removed, and what it provides to you, it provides C double bond O, C double bond O, and H on the both sides. And then we have the next question, define fractional distillation, give name of any three fractions of petroleum. Fractional distillation, when you separate your mixture into its components and or its fractions on low pressure, then that is a fractional distillation. And we done this with petroleum because petroleum is not worked at high temperature, so we do the fractional distillation. And there are multiple fractions here: diesel, kerosene oil, petrol, waxes, and a lot other stuff. Okay, then proteins have peptide linkage, C double bond O N, so it's between NH2 group, hydrogen is removed. On the other hand, we have carboxylic, so water removed from the system, and it generates a new bond. So show the formation of tripeptide. So you pick only three group, NH2, C double bond OH group with carbon chain, and then you just made it react and show the linkage. Three molecules must be there. Then we have to differentiate between nucleic acids are found in every living cell, and it's a very vital component. So you have to differentiate between your DNA and RNA. So you can write it 4 to 5 lines here, and we all know that your DNA, it's mainly present in your mitochondria and chloroplast, and your RNA, it is a very small quantity and in your nucleus, and it mainly occurs in your cytoplasm. And DNA is mainly confined in your nucleus. And the DNA quantity, it's constant in each cell of its species, of your species, whatever species you are taking. And your RNA, it quantity varies, and your RNA contain ribose sugar and DNA contain deoxyribose sugar, as its name stands. Then we have equal amount of adenine and thymine sugars in it, and cytosine and guanine amount is also equal. But in case of RNA, that is not necessarily an equal amount, and its uracil is present here, not thymine. And RNA doesn't have an ability to replicate itself, but yeah, there are certain viruses which have their RNA template and they can replicate itself. But yeah, DNA has its ability to replicate. And then DNA is a double strand, RNA is a single strand system, and DNA is a comparatively long polymer, and RNA is a shorter chain, shorter polymer. So these are basic differences between them. Also, one of the differences that the genetic information carried by your DNA, and your RNA is basically involved in protein synthesis and these type of stuff. Then we have the next question. Global warming is due to the disturbance in the natural balance of the concentration of greenhouse gases. We have to discuss the effects of global warming. We all know the floodings, more floodings, more warmer temperature, droughts are there, and your there are certain wildlife species which are just extinct now, and oceans are more acidic, sea levels are rising, and more heat waves are there, and these are the different effects. Then we have a next question. Nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide is there. These are air pollutants, and you have to enlist three effects of these oxides. Okay, one of the major effect is if the nitrogen is in excessive amount, obviously the produced ammonia, ozone is there, which obviously cause your breathing problem, and it obviously affect the plant growth, because nitrogen is a very major component there. And there it harm the forest life, soils fertility affects by it. And then we have groundwater pollution is majorly caused by it, and coastal oceans are also there, which are polluted by this system. Then hard water hampers cleansing action of soap. Identify the substances that causes hardness in water. So here is the calcium one. Calcium is the major substance which is there, which is causing hardness of the water. And what happens when the hardening is caused? It form soaps come, or it form curd, or it doesn't form proper leather. So which help in cleansing action. So this is the major drawback when your water is not a soft water. So it's just a short question answer there. Thank you.